All right. Maybe that worked. I don't know. Did it start? Hello, everybody. This is Kelly with Nerdgasmic Adventures. And I think you're probably looking at a screen. Yep, little technical difficulties going on the first live stream. But welcome into my channel. I think we may have actually started recording. And anyway, this is just all new to me, and it will take me some time to make sure I get everything going. For some reason, the main camera just doesn't seem to want to work. But let's check it. Yeah. Huh. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, until I can get that up and running right. Oh, you see my, yeah, I see my shirt too. Anyway, until I can get this camera running, we're going to be on. I'm going to switch to screen to what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at. All right. So today's topic is what a goofy way to start. Today's topic is on trip planning, and trip planning is kind of what I do for a living. A lot of trip planning, and it's actually a lot of fun for me because it's kind of an art form. For other people, it's not. Other people absolutely hate trip planning. They just do, and I think it's because they might be getting a little lost in it. They might think that it is too difficult to do, so they try something simple like book a hotel somewhere and just plan to go to Disneyland or things like that. And when they start thinking, hey, I want to go to a place like um, Europe, anywhere in Europe, or sometimes it's even Hawaii, it's just too much for them, and they get a little lost in the process. And that's why you hire somebody like me, because I love to trip plan. Um, but trip planning is not necessarily easy. It is not something that you just automatically know what you're doing and know that there's multiple things you need to think about within your trip plan. So, um, anyway, I think that the point of this is you need to start somewhere. A house is started at the foundation level. And a trip is very much like that, where you've got to make sure you've got a really good base to start from. And that requires you to know where you're going, when you're going. Those two things are the most important things. Once you are able to know where you're going and when you're going, you can build a full trip around it. Now, if you hate doing that, if you absolutely hate doing that, then you should go with a travel advisor who loves to do it. We all love to do it if we're a travel advisor. So, and then we also love to hear, how did your trip go? And did it go to plan? And was it fun? And did you have a good time? Which is, that's half the battle. Anyway, taking a sip. So, one of the things I was going to mention to you was I was going to ask if you have any questions today, that you direct them into the chat, and then we'll get to them later on in the chat today, just so that we have a good discussion going on. For instance, I have to plan some trips for me next year. I just planned a very big trip for about 10 people to go Prague, Budapest, and Vienna. Or actually, it's Budapest, Vienna, Prague. But it's a 10-day trip. It's going to have about 10 people in it. I'm hoping for more, to be honest. I'd love to get more people on that trip. And I was pricing it at around, before flights, because those fluctuate. But before flights, I was pricing it at about $2,000 a person. And I think that's a pretty fantastic price in for travel this day and age. So, fair price. If you want to go, call me. That is for double occupancy. It costs a little bit more if you want to go so low. Anyway, by the way, if you got to watch the preview video today, I don't know if you saw it. I hope it all worked. This is all new to me. I do YouTube stuff all the time, but live stream, all new, learning the ropes. Like maybe we're not even going to get to see my face today, which isn't what I wanted to do. I really wanted to show you my face. I don't know why. Show my face and it's crazy. Anyway, um, all right. Another thing I kind of wanted to point out today, or show you today. Why are we not on the screen? That's where I want to be. On the screen. At least on this. So I wanted to point out that I've been doing this series. It's my favorite series that I do. And I don't know how many I have now, of what's it like to drive. And one of my favorite places I got to drive to, I'm not sure if it's one of my best videos, but I loved it. I loved going there, and it was Tenerife. And so let's take a little bit of time and watch it.
And of course, I'm going down whatever speed I want to go past. Well, you know, because safety is really the number one thing. We never really saw this in this way.
It's about 40, 45 miles an hour. We're driving above the clouds. It's just gorgeous.
I feel like we're getting such a treat. Like, this is a treat ever.
I just don't know how often you get the experience of driving above the clouds. Of course, if you're in places like Hawaii, Tenerife is an island right off the coast of Africa. And when you're right off the coast of Africa, it's a bit drier. It's really nice. The climate's really nice. It's a very volcanic island. Big mountain there called Mount Titi. And anyway, but it is quite high. When we flew into Tenerife, the ocean was cloud covered below us, and all we could see of the islands were the volcanoes poking out from all the little islands from there, and it was very surreal. It was almost a video game like atmosphere. And then we landed through the clouds, which was a bit scary because the worst airplane accident happened on Tenerife, but the north airport. We landed at the south. But the worst airplane accident ever in the history of mankind was, I think, 600 people, and it was two planes at the north airport of Tenerife. Just crazy. But it is because of this, the clouds at Tenerife lay low, so you can see them below you, and you're up in the sunshine, and it's beautiful up there. It's really a great place to go. But anyways, I digress, because I'll just end up talking a lot. Yeah, I need to see something. If you can see the chat, so okay, just bear with me. I can't see the chat, so somebody had sent a chat in, and I'm really curious about what they said. So I'm going to look it up. I'm going to see if I can find it another way. But one of the things I would consider doing, if you're ever going to go to Tenerife, you don't go without renting a car. It's a highly drivable place, and you get just amazing views. But that's not all. We get to travel to beautiful places, and I just wanted to share some of that. I mean, like this one was one of my first. So hopefully it'll pull up. And this is Sky Island here, right outside of Tucson. Beautiful. So just one of my favorite things to do. So you get to kind of know who I am. Oh, and then we get this nice bubble. To get to know who I am. Back us up just a bit, and that's to here. Yeah. find something unique when you make a trip. Everybody's going to pick when they go to Rome, they're going to go to the Colosseum, they're going to go to the Vatican Museum. But a lot of people don't go to special places. Like this is a very special place in Montana, or not in Montana, sorry, I grew up there. In Arizona, right outside of Tucson, which is Mount Lemmon. And you can drive up that road and get one of the most stunning views you'll get in your whole entire life. But people don't think about that when they come here. A lot of times they're thinking, we want to go to the mission, we want to go eat the food, we want to go to the Desert Museum or Old Tucson to see where they filmed, old movies, or go to Tombstone, right, outside of town. But this is a special spot. So everywhere you're going is going to be a special spot nobody's thinking about. So when you're making your trip plans and you want to go somewhere, then plan to go somewhere a little off the beaten path. And that's just kind of how I look at it. Try to go somewhere that you don't think everybody's going. Go to those normal places, the big spots, the ones that you really are excited about, but also plan something a little outside of that. So that's just what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. All right, now let's see if I can figure out the chat and see if we have any questions in the chat. And that may take me a second to figure it out. I'm working out all the kinks. I've actually spent 2 full days trying to figure out how does this work. How does this work? And that is not always easy. You're going to work out some bugs and hope for the best. All right, I'm looking, and yeah, Kevin said it was a pretty drive. Yeah, I don't know, Kevin, have you been on that? That's my brother. Have you been on that drive before? Did I take you on it? You were here in the winter, so it was kind of cold, and it does get really cold up there, so I'm going to guess you didn't get to go. But, next time you guys come here, next time you come visit, you should go. You should go. One of the things I've been thinking about too, and let me double check. Is where is it that you guys have wanted to go in your travel life, or what is the one place you would like to go that you think would be really hard to plan for? And kind of put that in the chat if you could. I know some of you have sent me a couple messages, but yeah, put that in the chat for where you might like to go, that you think that's just too much of a headache to go to. And I'll give you a moment. Yeah, Kevin says he has not gone up Mount Lemmon, which he should. He should go. But he hadn't been here in a couple of years. He came right before COVID. And they may have had COVID when they visited. So it's a funny story. A couple of years ago, and I probably told many of you who are in here, that I planned and took a whole trip around the world. I thought, this is going to be impossible to do. And I did it, and it was successful, except for getting sick, somebody getting me sick, staying in a pod hotel in Singapore and ruining the rest of the trip because I was sick the whole time. I flew out the day I started feeling sick. I flew immediately to Tokyo. And I thought, well, it's a scratchy throat. And sometimes you're like, oh, scratchy throat, I can get over it. But no, not this time. And I went directly into another pod hotel. I spent 2 horrific nights in another pod hotel, and then I got my own just so I could get some relaxation, because you're not really relaxing when other people are sleeping in pods nearby. It's just not comfortable. Ireland, okay. So Ireland, it's actually one of the best places to go visit. As a matter of fact, not this next summer, but the following summer, I'm going to be taking a group of people to Ireland, England, and Scotland for the summer. That'll be the big group trip. There might be 2 next year. I might actually do the same trip next year if I get some people on board. But anyway, a trip to Ireland. To be honest, I would recommend getting a group tour. And now I've sent quite a few people through Globus to Ireland, and they always come away saying that was an amazing trip. And so there's two ways to do Ireland. You could either do a group trip or you could do what we call an FIT. That's a free and independent tour or free and independent traveler. And so the FIT, you could rent a car, but then you have to consider, well, if I rent a car, I got to remember I'm in a British Isle. That's in a British Isle, and I'm going to be driving on the left hand side of the road. And do you want that headache if you've never had it before? Some people are natural drivers, they just get right into it. It's no big deal. But other people are like, I cannot get over my driving on the right hand side of the road, so I just don't want to do it. If you're that person, you need to get on a tour. And I would recommend a Globus or a Colette tour. And if you want to do it, go through me. Um, but Ireland is one of those places that you could see a lot of it in just a few days. So the trip I'm planning for 2 years from now, I plan on doing 4 nights in Dublin with people having the option to take day trips out into the countryside. You know, one of the things they have pretty close to Dublin is an option to spend the night in a castle. They actually have a kind of a resort in a castle over there. It is a little bit spendy, but I love castles, so I think I might want to do it. Yeah, Kevin likes to drive on the left hand side. I don't blame him. I do too. Once I got used to it, it was no problem. But the next time I do it, I am not renting a manual transmission. It has got to be an automatic. I do not like shifting and trying to hit the turn signal at the same time because you're doing both with your left hand, and that is hard to do. So yeah, I'm against that. I am very against it. Um, Also, the other thing with Ireland is you're really close to other really cool places to go, and eventually, I'd love to take a full group of people on what I call the castle tour. But if I do the castle tour, I'm going to align it to good railroads in England because England has a great rail system and it's a lot more fun to see the countryside rather than drive through it, in my opinion. It is a lot of fun. So I would recommend, go through me. I'm always going to say that though. Ireland's beautiful, but I've been to all these places, and my absolute favorite place in all the British Isles is Scotland. And I think I was watching one of my old videos today, and I noticed that let's see, um, let's see, year in pictures, really quick. Maybe it won't come up. I noticed they had kilts for rent for like no, it was, yeah, £29. And I was thinking to myself, why not? I would definitely do it. I would definitely wear a kilt. And I would pay money to do it, and it would be a lot of fun. I don't know, Kevin, would you be willing to wear a kilt? I'm going to give him a moment to answer the question. I would. I think, and my daughter's boyfriend, Will, I think I could convince him to wear a kilt also. The chance you get to have your husband, boyfriend, whatever, in a kilt, I think you should go for it. I just think it'd be fun. All right. Oh, I don't know if I finished talking about it. One thing I've got, I think it's maybe there's 7 people in here, maybe 9, I don't know. I do have 1,500 subscribers now, which is cool. 1,500 subscribers, and I get 9 on my live stream, which is fine. But if you have friends, encourage them to come watch it. We're going to get better every week. It's not going to be stuck on, the camera not working. I don't know why the camera wasn't working. I still don't. I still can't get that thing to work. But anyway, yeah, that is something. Um, One thing I need to point out before we go, because we're almost coming to the end of the first live stream, is if you have ever been interested in going on a river cruise, and that would be something you might want to talk to me about. I am excited to go on a river cruise. I haven't been. I'm selling a lot of river cruises. People are really into it. Celebrity just recently opened a river cruise line and they sold them all out within minutes of opening the river cruise. And they're going to be on the same rivers that Amma, Avalon, I just learned of a new one, Amadeus, Riviera, Emerald, um, all those Viking. They all share the same rivers and they all have to get around them. So anyway, it I don't think it matters too much which company. Go for the one that fits you best. I'm a big fan of Avalon and Amma Waterways because I work with them and I know how good their representation is, and I've seen their rooms, and I will be taking one soon. I'm not sure when, but I will be taking one soon. But I'm saying that to say this. Yeah, Kevin, you should wear a kilt. I'm saying that to say this. Right now, if you're a solo traveler, if you are a solo traveler, I can get uh, solo rates, the single supplement uh, wiped out. The amount of money you have to pay, usually is double the amount to get on a river cruise and a cabin. But right now, Amma Waterways has this amazing deal to get on a river cruise for between now and April, with that solo rate on some cruises not applied, and the price is really good on these cruises. So I have the ability to get you into that if you would like to go, and I would hope maybe you'd think about it because it is something that is a value if you ever want to go on a river cruise and you think the price is a little high. Now, let me tell you, I understand when you think the price is a little high. I average about the people who go on like a 10-day tour with me, it's about 4,000 a person now. It costs a bit of money. Even though the new one, the Budapest, Vienna, Prague is a $2,000 trip per person. To go almost anywhere else, it would be close to $4,000. And sometimes it's more than that when you include flights. Sometimes I can get that $4,000 rate with flights, but the cost of travel is in there, $4,000. The average river cruise per person is probably 4,500 per person. Now I say that to say this. The value that's in the river cruise is in the excursions, because you're not just cruising, it's not just a party on a boat. Every time they stop, they give you excursions to go on that you are not paying extra for. You are going to some really incredible places that are included in the cost of your cruise. Most of them. Now, I do know there are nickel and dimers. Viking and Amadeus are kind of nickel and diming. They'll say, oh, you get to go on one. We'll let you go on one, but we will have more options, and those are all stuff you have to pay for. When it's Amma Waterways and Avalon, all those excursions are included in the cost. And so is alcoholic beverages at lunch and dinner. And usually they have a cocktail hour before that where you can also get those. You also get your Wi-Fi for free. And if you book airfare through them, you get free transfers. But if you go through me, I'll figure it out for a very reasonable price. I can't dictate what the price is. I just know I can get a reasonable rate. But anyway, now on these AMA rates that they're showing right now that I only have until the end of the month to sell, they have these why can't I think of the word? But they're only good through the company I work with, and they are cutting out. There's probably 40 or 50 cruises that they've cut out the single supplement rate. So it means that you're paying the cost of one person going on the cruise, just like others. If there's two of you, there's also another discount that they're offering on these particular cruises. AMA just advertised that they had free airfare from a main basic gateway. So if you were in Ohio, the gateway would probably be Cincinnati. I think that would be an acceptable gateway that probably get you free airfare. For us, for me, it would be Phoenix. For people on the East Coast, I mean, if it was North Carolina, it'd be Charlotte. Probably in Atlanta. Orlando, things like that. So there are some really good rates out there, and I don't think you can get on a river cruise for less expensive. There are some at the holiday during the holidays too. They have some Christmas tours, which I'm really surprised because those ones sell out so quick. I was seeing them selling out back in April, in March and April. But anyways, I am talking a lot about a deal that you might be able to get. So anyway, this is my first stream. Next time I'll get this whole camera thing figured out because it just wasn't working today. And I mean, this is where it got stuck. My elbow and my shirt. I hope you like um, I hope you like the Nerdgasmic Adventures stuff on the side. I worked on that. I just thought it was kind of cool. I don't know. You can tell me if it wasn't. I was enjoying myself. And anyway, just so you know, I'm going to do this weekly. I'd love to hear what your topic ideas, what you'd like me to discuss. I know a lot about the travel business. I know a lot about deals that are going on. I also know what to be aware of. We're coming up with some restrictions on travel that you're going to have to get electronic travel documentation for certain places you go to. And in England, it's already happening. I had no idea that people from Europe have had to do this coming to the United States for years. They have had to do that. I had no clue. And then also, Europe's going to start up next year, probably in December. They were supposed to start up this April. So there's always stuff changing. Flight prices are amazing. I saw, and I'm tempted to take one. I saw flights to England that were like $500 from Phoenix, and I was like, ooh, yeah, going to see my kiddo. She lives over there in Southampton. That's a temptation, so I'm considering it. Anyway, sorry about the camera malfunction. You can look at my elbow in my pocket on my shirt, but I'm going to go back here. Anyway, any of the topics that you'd like to discuss weekly, I would love to hear. I would love to know what you're interested in. I want to make this a place where you can come in and ask questions, and I can figure out how to answer those questions, which I know I can. Anyway, I just have to see them coming. And, I'm just here as your travel ambassador, your travel hero. We're not here to have live nerdgasms, but we're here to find out how we can go have some in another place. Because a nerdgasm is just that moment of doing that one thing you've always wanted to do, seeing that one place you've always wanted to see. I describe it as putting your hand on the Colosseum or seeing the Great Wall of China for the first time. You know, all those types of things where you're just like, wow, that's amazing. And that's what I'm here for. Let's find those amazing things. This is Kelly from Nerdgasmic Adventures saying, stay adventured and have a good night. Bye-bye.